A former student once asked what was the most obscure and strange music artist that I personally knew of. Without missing a beat, I said Moondog. I first learned about him while I was in college. The story that I heard was that in the 60s, residents of New York City began seeing a large, bearded, and blind guy dressed as a Viking performing avant-garde but beautiful music on the street. I don't know if this part of the story is true, but everybody assumed he was homeless until a few people followed him to an apartment where they discovered that he was actually an accomplished musician and scholar living even better than they were. After reading the story, I looked up his work and was both intrigued and enchanted. It was strange, but also familiar, almost like a dream where you catch bits and pieces of things that you recognize, but everything is slightly askew and strange. I've since played it for my students and used it in projects whenever I needed something special. Moondog was born Louis Thomas Hardin in 1916 in Kansas. At the age of 5, he made his own drum kit out of cardboard, and from there began a lifelong love of music, specifically percussion. Things were going well for him, and he had much promise as a student of music. That wasn't until, at the age of 16, he accidentally came across a blasting cap in a field that went off and rendered him completely blind. While most would have given up completely, he carried on, and like Django Reinhardt, not only relearned his craft, but expanded upon it. This was thanks in large part to his sister Ruth, who would encourage him and read to him as he learned Braille. Together they escaped into many books about music and Nordic myth that would go on to shape his musical persona. He would attend several schools, expanding his skills and knowledge before ending up in New York City in the 1940s. It was there that he began performing on the street and earned the title the Viking of 6th Avenue. There he performed his music, poetry, and sold his work. Much of what he played was on instruments that he had invented and constructed. He took the name Moondog from a dog that he knew that he said howled at the moon more than any other that he knew of. Some might have even thought that he took it from DJ Alan Freed, but this is incorrect, and in fact, Moondog sued Freed over his use of the name and won. In 1949, he released his first single, Snake Time Rhythms. His first album, an EP, would follow in 1953. He would continue releasing music throughout his lifetime. Much of it he would have transcribed for Braille for other blind musicians and students. He met and talked music with many other composers, jazz and rock musicians who were all admirers of his work. Some of these artists he would collaborate with and release albums with. In the 1970s, he moved to Germany, where he mainly resided until his death in 1999 at the age of 83. Most listeners would know his work from the soundtracks to both The Big Lebowski and Pineapple Express. My favorite track of his is probably Surf Session, which perfectly recreates the journey of a surfer through music and sound. You'd be doing yourself a huge favor by listening to his work if you never have before. What do you think about Moondog and his music? Let me know in the comments below. The content on this channel is made possible from viewers like you. Help the channel grow by supporting me on Ko-fi, which you can find a link to below. You can also help by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.